And good morning there, swingers. Charlie Bolak here, live at Swing Away Golf Club. It is Monday, the 28th of January. If you notice, we're a day late, and as always, $1 short. We have a sweeping illness running through the household. So I was home with the three boys yesterday until about 2 o'clock. Had to take one of them to the doctor. Came up here, switched with Anna, gave her two kids, and took oldest to the doctor's appointment. So just did not have a chance to do the show yesterday. So let's roll through real quick about where we're at in the week with programming. So it is Wednesday, and that is Wine Down Wednesday. Half price wine, doesn't matter if you want it by the glass, by the bottle, half price all day, open to close. Let's see. Thursday, Heckler's Night. I really want to see a better turnout for the Heckler's Night. I'm so excited about it. It has the potential to be so much fun. If you watch some of these shorts and clips online of some of the different guys that are posting of little tournaments where they're doing the back off challenge, little different heckler events. They might not all call them heckler events, but you know one name or another, we're accomplishing the same thing, just cutting up a little bit before the golf swing. And again, for those who see the sign and think, oh, they're going to be blowing air horns in my backswing and throwing things, it's not going to be like that at all. The concept came out of watching cousin-in-law Matt and some of his buddies just giving each other hell the whole time. They were playing around one Sunday morning, but when it came time to hit the ball, they all quieted down, and it was a pretty normal pre-shot routine after that. So, you know, really the potential to have a lot of fun with that for golfers, non-golfers alike. Please come out, support it. Let's grow it. Let's see what we can do with it. It's going to be a great event. We'll support it. We'll grow it. Thursdays, Coach Jerry's also in here with his Common Golf Clinic. Had a great Common Golf Clinic last night, as a matter of fact. Had every bay full, great grouping of characters. Coach Smoot stopped by to kind of update us from the PGA show. So he went down there and tried to get in and talk to the full swing guys, but apparently they were so busy he couldn't get a word in edgewise. So I've committed to next year I will be at the PGA show. If I have to crawl down there on my hands and knees, I want to see what the future is bringing to this side of golf. Right? It's there's tons of different avenues into the golf world, and indoor golf, this speed of indoor golf, meaning, the entire simulator where you can play the type of courses you can play with the type of graphics you can play that really, you know, you feel like you're at these courses. It's not virtual reality. It's not even augmented reality. But it is a 3D card on a 16-foot wide screen where, in my opinion, you feel like you're at the course. You feel like if I went to play Pebble tomorrow after playing Pebble on here 50 times, I would feel like I've played Pebble before. I mean, there might be some, you know, subtle differences, but as far as knowing the course layout and having a vague idea of the strategy I'd like to employ, um, that to me is one of the biggest draws of indoor golf. If I get to play Pebble Beach in my life, it's not going to be more than a handful of times. So you know, having that ability to play it before and kind of know what you're walking into and being able to visualize these holes, some of these shots. Okay, I did this shot, you know, when the course was set up similar, and this was the outcome I had. That would be a very successful outcome here. So let's try to recreate it. And same with the St. Andrews, a lot of the famous courses on there. Kind of bucket list type courses you may get to play once in your life. So. Uh, that's one of my thoughts there. As far as one of the reasons I like it so much is because, yeah, I do plan to play Pebble, at least once. I do plan to play St. Andrews at least once, and to have that, understanding of the course going in is just game changer to me. I don't know how long this level of simulator golf has been around or popular, but I know I found out about it in October of 24, uh, and I have not looked back. I mean, I absolutely love it. I think it is, not the future of golf, because outdoor golf will always be, everybody's ideal, right? Indoor golf does not seek to replace outdoor golf. It just opens another avenue. It gives guys people a chance, to play on days that may not be the ideal day. And I'll tell you this, as a father of three, who doesn't really have time to go out and play on the course, being able to come in and play 18 holes in 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how I'm playing and what course and the setups and things like that. It's just been an absolute game changer. As far as my mental health, my golf game, you know, everything that's kind of fallen into place to put me right here, um, is because of the passion I feel for the sport of indoor golf. Golf as a whole, but where life is right now for me, indoor golf is just so much more accessible, than outdoor golf. So, please, if you haven't checked it out, come experience it. If you've been to one and had a less than ideal experience, I beg you, please come check us out, because, you know, in my research for this, I went to many, 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 many of these places, and, you know, they're not all created equal, right? I'm biased. I think Full Swing does an incredible job. I think they could do some things better for sure, as any organization could. But I mean, on the whole, I couldn't be, more uh, happy with the customer service I've gotten. More happy with the product itself. I think in the 5 months we've been here, been going, I've had to call tech support less than 10 times. I know that, probably less than 5, to be honest, and several of those were operator error. So, my biggest gripe right now is not having the putting patch where we can play on the sims and putt on the virtual green. But I think we're working on that, and all signs point to possibly this year getting that. And that's going to go a long way as we transition out of a single unit business into a multi-unit uh, organization looking to scale and grow fairly rapidly. I mean, with a plan to get to 50 in 7 years, that's it accelerates unit wise the closer you get, to year 7 or unit 50. So you start slow. We're going to try to get 2 more up by the end of this year. That get us to 3. And then in 27, if we could get 2 more, that gets us to 5. And 5's always been my trigger for being able to fund organic growth, right? So we don't plan on selling franchises at this point. We may look at selling pieces of each unit, so we don't fracture the whole of the organization itself. Um, but all that's kind of still up in the air right now. We're looking at how we're going to grow, where we're going to grow. And I'll tell you this, for all the Birmingham people listening, especially you in Mountain Brook, I'd love to come to Mountain Brook, but I can't pay your rent. So we're looking in Irondale right now, because we figure that that's close enough to Birmingham rent, but we can still pull more of the Mountain Brook people that I'm going to get, at this location down Lakeshore. Even though, I mean, it's not a hard drive. I always, in the projections when we were looking at the demographics, I always said people would drive 20 minutes. And coming Mountain Brook to our location here on Lakeshore, if you hit the lights right, I mean, probably as the crow flies, you're not more than 5-7 miles. But that stretch of road probably has 10 red lights between, uh, I'd say 280 to right here where you turn at Red Mountain Park. But the strategy game, the part of it, the thought process of how we grow, where we grow next. This has been what I've been waiting for the most. This is where we get into strategy. You know, this is what I learned in the heavy equipment industry, not from the highest level, but kind of that middle management where, hey, my input could matter, right? If we're looking at putting a branch, possibly somewhere between Nashville and Birmingham, and you're gonna want to be on that 65 corridor. When you start getting into the strategy of that, that's fun, right? That's thought process. That's you know doing your homework. What can you vet? How many bad mistakes can you get out of the calculus, before you actually do make a decision? I think, when they talk about mitigating risk and clear overall strategies, there's just so many different ways to parse it out because there is no right or wrong answer when you're sitting at this side of it. Now we can go 2 years down the road and look back and say, okay, this was a mistake, this was a win, this was not. But from sitting here forward looking, it's all speculation and it's all mitigating risk, right? What is the best option versus what is the least dangerous option? It is the best option the least dangerous option. I mean, you know, when you really sit down, look at it, parse out risk versus reward, how much do I want to put in? Where do I want to put it? What is my potential return? Um, that's what drove me to want to do this. The thought process, hey, can I do it better than somebody else? And right now I don't know. I still don't know. We've done well here. I mean, to turn green in month four, between month four and month five, is really not unheard of, but it's not a normal occurrence, right? So it's we're very stoked and very very appreciative of everybody that's helped us get to this point. But at the same time, look, I want to challenge the people that helped us get here. Let's keep going, right? Let's don't get here and be happy with it. Let's get here. Let's look around and say, okay, where are we going next? That's always been one of the ways, in my opinion, I was so successful in business is because I didn't fall in the salesman's trap of getting complacent. And it probably boils down to greed, really, at the end of the day, right? I want a bigger boat, I want a faster car, I want a more lifted truck. And the difference between people that have that attitude is, hey, who's willing to work for it and who's not? Who's willing to put in the above board, honest, hard day's work to get where they want to go. And that's me. I've always had a good work ethic, always really, you know, never been scared to work for what I want. And I think I learned that at a young age, seeing my mother take extra call if there was something she wanted to buy, or if there's something she wanted to buy me. When you see a parent working like that, it does. It leaves a mark. Now, I wish it would have left a mark when I was younger in working smarter, not harder. I was never one to find that smarter way. I always, generally worked it the hard way to get to the better solution. But that was, typical younger man, bullheaded, can't tell you anything. I think I'd like to think now that I'm getting, mid 40 ish, midlife, definitely. I'm starting to kind of slow down a little bit, take a look at the bigger picture. Now, you know, gut decisions got me a long way in my career, especially in the equipment industry, and especially on the bypass market of the pump game. So, sewer bypass is a huge, huge market, pretty much everywhere. The infrastructure market in general, but sewer bypass in particular, to build that and to be successful, you have to consistently answer your phone. You never let your customers down. You're honest, from day one when they call an emergency. Hey, yes, I can get that pump, but it's sitting in Texas, and you're going to pay, out the ears to bring it. But I'm the only one that has it, or I'm the only one that can get it to you in a timeline that's going to work for your project and not going to, cost you a bunch of money in downtime, or just other situational um, items that keep you from being able to work. All right, so that covers business for today. So we've rolled through. Let's see. We went down a bunny hole when I was trying to talk about the happening. So we got through Thursday through the Hecklers League. Friday, no specials. We just want you to come in. Saturday, doubleheader putt pong, $10 buy-in, winner take all. We are uh, we're really enjoying that. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Our virtual green putting green with the actuators that allows us to change the slopes and the breaks of the green. It really makes for a more dynamic and challenging um, tournament, and especially since we're doing it twice a day, once a week. I mean, you know, too easy, it gets old quick. Um, you work it the right way. Yeah, hey, this week we're a left to right. Next week we're right to left. Then it's uphill, downhill. Then it's downhill, uphill. So you know, plenty of ways to keep that fresh, even though we're doing the same tournament. Uh, there's just so many different ways to do it, and that's another thing that I'm having a lot of fun here with is coming up with all this programming, reading the sim owners forum, seeing what other groups are doing that are successful, and honestly, some of the people are saying, "Hey, I did this, it didn't work," and I think part of that is now I'm starting to reply on these groups because there for a while I was just take because honestly I didn't know what to put back out there. I was learning, I was listening, I was watching. I'm not. I mean, some of these guys have been doing this for a long, long time, especially the northern guys. So I just didn't feel like I had a great opinion to offer. But now that I've been in it for a while, back through the planning phase. I mean, we're over a year into this already, and multiple six figures. So you know, uh, vested interest in making this thing successful. All right, again, another rabbit hole. Sundays, doubleheader putt pong. 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock starts. Depending on how many people are here, hell, they don't take long. 20 minutes sometimes. I think the longest I've seen is 30 minutes. And I think somebody walked away with $60. I mean, how can you beat that for a half hour's work? Let's see. Sunday. So we had our first jazz brunch last week. Had my Bloody Mary bar set up, and our groups that came in all partook in the Bloody Mary bar. It's kind of a little rinky dink setup, but I told them, I was like, look, this is the first one. We'll grow it. We'll get better. We'll learn every week. And we'll really get it, hopefully, as long as it's supported, we'll keep throwing money back in it, keep upping our game, to keep you guys coming in. But uh, it was a great time. Really was a great time. We're working on an idea for maybe some cash tournaments to go along with Sunday, or maybe a league. Jump in the comments. Let us know if anybody's got any ideas. All right. So that takes us through the weekly programming remaining here at Swingaway. But one of the things near and dear that I really want to talk about is we are working to start planning our Masters week events, if you will, itinerary. This is going to be our biggest week by far from my perspective. I will put more into the planning. I will invest more into making this week absolutely, unforgettable than I will any other week of the year, because you know, this has always been a special week for me. Masters, my favorite golf tournament. One of my earliest childhood memories is watching the Masters with no family in particular. None of my family really cared about golf. I still don't know how I got into it and really brought that passion along. But yeah, one of my earliest memories is on Sundays watching the Masters at home. I don't even know how old I was. There was no prompting. I don't know. I was probably scrolling the television one day, saw it, and said, "Oh, this sounds cool. I like that little jingle. It's a very calming uh, note." And I thought I could get it on my soundboard here, but uh, that has yet proven to be elusive. But I do work on it because I mean, just when you hear that melody, oh, I mean, you absolutely know what it is. There's no other melody in the world that could inspire just that's the math, just like that. So right now we're looking at several different options. Definitely, Thursday through Sunday, huge events. We're going to look at possibly trying to have a member guest tournament sometime that week. But the big tournament is we're working with Magic City. We're working with Tap Ins. And then if any of the other sim owners in town want to reach out to us, then we'd happily include you. But it's going to look like a Birmingham Open Invitational, right? There'll be qualifying spots. You can qualify here. You can qualify at Magic City. You can qualify at Tap-ins. Um, and then your first two rounds will be Magic City and Tap-ins, right? And then, well, actually, take that back. First round will be everywhere. First two rounds will be everywhere, and then we'll do a cut. And then Friday and Saturday, you will play here for the remainder of the tournament. We'll try to schedule it to where we're done and watching. By the time they're finishing up on Sunday at the Masters, but probably going to have a cash component to it. It's looking like we're going to do a Calcutta. Still working with these guys to understand how that works. Maybe some golfers out there jump in, let us know, give some good feedback. But yeah, so that right now the plan is to do some sort of an invitational tournament after the cut. It'll kind of be flighted. Instead of a cut, we may just go right to a flight system, and the Calcutta will be Saturday night, maybe even Friday night, and then we'll play the tournament the weekend. We'll have other door prizes, reasons to be here, reasons to watch, drink specials. Alabama Azalea came. Well, the Azalea as a whole came off of, I think, their menu. Now the Alabama Azalea part, I had to put my little spin on it. Don't know why I felt it necessary, but I did. The transfusion is an excellent drink. We're going to bring back the egg salad. We're going to do some Masters-based pricing for our food. I don't know how their drink specials are, but if their drinks are as cheap as their food, I can't compete there, but I can give you some good food deals. So stay tuned with that. If you're in, let me know, what you'd like to see, because, like I said, this is going to be my signature event, all wrapping up until Sunday, when we're watching the end of the Masters and just having a excellent time up here, celebrating with the golfers. And also some sort of charity dinner component, because they have a champions dinner at the Masters. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the Tuesday before the tournament, but it could be the Wednesday. I think it's the Tuesday before. And we'll probably line it up somewhere around there where we have our charity dinner the same night they're doing theirs. We mimic a menu kind of like that. You got a good 501c3, we're looking to partner. We would love to get something like that going, and yeah, that's about it. So let's see. So we've covered business. We've gone through swing away. We've talked about the Masters. All right. Well, let's talk about yesterday. And I feel like I might have made a parenting error. Not that that would be unusual. I make quite a few. But yesterday, with all three, having a level of sickness, our middle son, Teddy, is he's not as sick as the rest of them, right? And yesterday, he could have gone to school. But his school is 45 minutes away, so it's hour and a half round trip, to take him, drop him off, and get back to this side of town. And then you have to do it all over again to pick him up. So in my morning, half awake status and a text, and it's like, hey, if you think it would work better for our schedule, maybe we come up with a reason to keep him out of school. And I thought, well, yeah, that sounds great. Let's give him a chore list, and I'll kind of hit it as an option with him. Hey, Teddy, would you rather go to school, or you want to help me around the house today? You can stay home. You can be a big brother, help me with your brothers, help me clean, this, that, and other. And of course, he jumped at it. I mean, I figured he would, even though he liked school. I still, I don't. That's a tough one on me. But I'm sure I was the same way when I was his age. You love school, but then again, you don't want to go because somebody's telling you to go. I guess. Yeah. Makes sense. So of course he jumps on it. Yeah, right. I mean, we knew he would. So Teddy and I are home. Anna's comes up here to open swing away, and she works up here yesterday during the day, and Teddy and I start out really good. He's helping me. I give him some tasks. He goes out, he accomplishes the task. He comes back. Okay, Daddy, what's next? Okay, Daddy, what's next? And then, you know, as the minutes, and don't think this is hours. This is minutes. As the minutes tick by, I can tell he's dillying a little bit longer on task. I'm kind of losing his interest there, and I tried to spark it back. Hey Teddy, would you like a gold star if you finish this? You get a gold star. And yeah, that helped for another minute or two, maybe one more task. But in the end, he decided he was too tired, and this is long before school would have even started. But we did get some chores done, and on the whole, it turned out to be a great day. But then today, of course, Daddy, I think I want to stay home and do some chores. No, buddy, that's no, that was a one-time deal, and you'd have thought I would, you know, bitten his ear off or something. So the lesson learned there is, um, I might have taken the easy road on that one. Probably wasn't my best idea. I probably shouldn't do that moving forward, especially with a little bribe like that, because it sounds good on the front end, but then on the back end, it's why can't we do it every day? Why in this? Blah 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 blah. And you know, uh, parenting learns along the way. Maybe if you don't want to fight this battle multiple times down the road, just leave that door shut. No need to even open it. Just the ramblings of an old man. I'm 43 years old with 3 kids. I learn something new every day, and yesterday was, even though at 5:30 in the morning that sounded like an awesome deal. At 5:30 this morning, when I'm fighting it on the other side, wasn't that good of a deal. And that's going to take us to the end of the show, guys. Thank you so much. This was a longer show today. We're going to end up getting near 30 minutes. And that's great. That's kind of what we're looking for with these shorter segment formats. Just getting in here, talking a little bit, hitting all 3 categories. So we got a little bit of sports, we got a little bit of business, we got some swing away stuff. And fatherhood, and fatherhood. And that's really about the only 3 things I'm qualified to talk about. So thank you for listening. Thank you for jumping on. Let us know if there's any topics you need us to tackle, or would like us to tackle. We'd love to get some chats going, some live polls. I don't regret moving this over to YouTube. It is much, much more user friendly. Nothing against Facebook, great platform. I do most of my social media marketing on there, and my social media for personal. But as far as podcasting goes, YouTube is much simpler. So look for it in this format. We're going to keep it here. We're going to keep editing videos. We'll drop some more. Trying to get somebody to come by and do an episode of Mic'd Up Golf. I've been talking about it for a long time now. I just haven't had anybody have the time to come in, play 9 holes with me, get all mic'd up, and talk through a round. But that is coming. So, and I don't know that I'll put it on the Clubhouse podcast series. It may be posted somewhere else, but if we do, we'll get that word out, and make sure that everybody that wants to see it has the ability. I don't think people are crashing the internet to get to it yet, but hey, maybe someday. It's just the ramblings of a deranged old man. So thank you so much for joining. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you, and if not, I hope to see you at Swing Away Golf Club anytime soon. Thank you so much.